everyone, my name is Sabina and I have recently moved to Beijing and entered CISB. As I came to CISB, I had a big opportunity of getting to know so many people from such a diverse countries and with different backgrounds. The reason why I'm making this documentary is because coming in and seeing all of my new classmates and generally just the whole community of CISB made me have a lot of judgments and assumptions. Some people changed them drastically and made me rethink my judgments. So I set myself on a journey to discover people's true personalities.
Hi, my name is Sophie.
Hi, my name is Oscar.
My name is Bella.
Hi, my name is Anna.
Hi, my name is Rita.
Hi, my name is Cindy.
Hi, my name is Abadi.
Hi, I'm Carolina and I'm 15.
My name is Ali.
My name is Hanson. I'm from grade 10.
Warning. Following scenes contain sensitive topics and mature themes.
What word would you use to describe yourself?
As like a person. Bubbly. I feel like that's what people would say. Yeah. Bubbly.
Say flexible. I feel like I adjust to different social situations easily, I think. Like if I'm with guys, I can kind of act like a dude. If I'm with girls, I can act like a girl. I'm not saying that I'm fake, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I can just adjust with different people pretty easily.
I would say I'm a kind person, a passionate person, and a helper person because I like to help others.
I would say reserved because like when I'm in a conversation I'm not super energetic about it. I like don't purposely do that, but like that's like I am excited but it's not as apparent. And I'd also say loyal and maybe
If you had to change your name, what would you change it into?
My name is Abdullah. I would change it to Abadi. That's what I use in my daily life, and I've been using it for a few years. It's also much easier.
Change it into something longer because my name is Cindy. It only has 2 syllables. I want to change it to something longer like Isabella or Elizabeth because people can choose to call me whatever they want.
I would change my name to Ryan because of Ryan Reynolds and Ryan Gosling and Ryan Bernetti.
What do you hate and like the most about this generation?
Well, I like that we can access so many, like we can communicate with so many different people around the world rather than just the people that you're around, but also with that people feel like they're entitled to say whatever they want to a person that they don't even know very well, especially like on social media.
I like the most thing that I like about this generation is technology because it's really advanced our lives and every day. It made so many things so much easier. And the one thing I don't like about this generation is everyone being on their phones. I'm not saying like the stereotype of teenagers being on their phones, mostly just the fact that adults are always on their phones and everyone just kind of stops communicating, and I don't like that about our generation.
I don't like how some topics are still a stigma, like racism, sexism, abuse. Recently I've been reading a lot of stories about sexual assault and I don't like how that's still a stigma and it's not being talked about, and sometimes a lot of people are blaming the victim, and I really don't like that about our generation because we're too quick to judge. And
what I love the most is that this generation is a lot more open-minded than any other generation, and that is really important because I'm Muslim, and it's a group that has been had a lot of stigma around it for a long time, but now people are becoming a lot more open-minded, and also to gender roles. Like, I am not what would fit in the traditional role of a boy. I'm a lot more feminine than what they consider as the norm.
I dislike that everybody has to keep texting. I prefer people called more, and what I like more is that there's more, I guess, gadgets and different technologies than there were before.
What sensitive topics should be discussed in the society and why?
I think that gender equality should be discussed more in the society because, you know, most people just think, oh, you know, they just brush it off. It's especially in schools. Like, some teachers they don't really care much about it. They're just like, oh, like, they just always brush it off and no one really talks about it. So I feel like that should be discussed more in schools and also in like everyday like adult life, and also in not in kindergarten, but elementary to middle to high to university and to adult life.
I think a very important one that not a lot of people think is super serious, but I think is like the importance of having good relationships, not like boyfriend and girlfriend necessarily, but like just having friends that are right, because some people, they have so many friends yet they're not what you need, or like they're not treating you the way you should be treated and stuff, or they're not wanting to know you in the way that you want to know them. That's I think an important thing that people need to talk about.
I think as a society we find depression as something that's taboo, but I feel like it's not. It's a mental illness, and I feel like if more people were talking about it, it wouldn't be so weird and it'd be more of a accepted thing.
I feel like racism, not just the most basic one, as in like, don't say bad things to someone because they're black or they just look different than you, they're not white. I feel like we should also discuss more of like systematic racism and just internal bias, because the different environments people live in affect that. And even if you feel like you're not racist, sometimes you just make judgments based on skin that you're not aware of. So I feel like this is something more people should be educated on.
In my opinion, I think that a sensitive topic that should be discussed more in the society is terrorism and the terroristic attacks. I think this topic is not discussed enough in the society. It's something that's really scary and can happen anytime, any hour, any minute, right now, somewhere around the world. The terroristic attacks are mentioned in the news. People do talk about them for a bit, but then that's it. They're forgotten and they're mentioned until another one happens. Recently, I've been watching 9/11 videos and I have been curious about it. So I've been doing some research about it, just like I did about Paris. And I feel like these topics are just truly heartbreaking. What happened is heartbreaking. And these things should definitely not happen anywhere around the world. It's just something so horrible because people die for nothing. They're innocent, and I don't really get it. I feel like it should be discussed. It shouldn't be quiet. It should be discussed even if just one person dies or 300 people die. Why do we judge people?
Okay. Why do we judge you? We judge you because
To make ourselves feel better about ourselves, because we have nothing better to do, or they have nothing. Yeah, we have nothing better to do.
I think we do it naturally because we want to surround ourselves with people who are good for us and who help us and who we can help and whose company we enjoy. But I think also in this generation we take it to a very far extent, to the point of like just judging someone by their appearance or by their skin color or by maybe something they've done in the past that maybe wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah, we tend to judge. I think everyone should have a bit of good judgment about someone after they know them for a bit, but we shouldn't be judging people immediately after getting to know them.
What words would you pass to your childhood self?
I would say, Hanson, you need to lose some weight. You need to work hard to achieve your goals.
Well, I would pass down. I'll tell them that don't bring matches to school with your friends because it can end up you can get into really big trouble. And basically, what happened was me, Kevin, Justin, and someone who left brought lighters to school. And what ended up happening was I think the first person got caught like immediately. So then the rest of us like tried to hide it. So I don't know what happened. I remember one toilet got like flooded. One part of the soccer field was like burnt because someone like tried to use it or something. And after we were caught, we had a lot of detentions. And I guess it would be better if that never happened.
Well, I feel like as a child, I was way more confident than I am now. So I would tell my younger self, stay yourself. Because, man, if I could be that same, like, 8-year-old, I would take over the world.
What stereotype can you relate to?
Stereotype? Asian parents.
Definitely Asian parents. Parents are really strict on a lot of things.
My parents expect English and math to be my best subjects.
Asians are always smart and they should always know the right answer. Ace every test and get A for everything because they are Asians.
Even though they like immigrated to Canada and stuff, and they've been in the United States and Canada for a very long time, they still like, because they were brought up with like the Chinese education, so they have very different ways of thinking from what we have at school. So it's like at home they tell me something, but then at school I'm learning a different thing, and then sometimes I get confused.
And that really bothers me because sometimes you feel like it's a burden and something you have to live up to because you're Asian, and that's who you should be.
A lot of people relate me to a tomboy, but I like kind of don't think that's true. I feel like it's just because I wear pants or something.
Because I'm white, I can't handle spicy food. That's a fact in my case. I really can't.
A lot of black people really like chicken, and I guess that's one stereotype that people might associate me with.
What do you like the most and the least about your personality?
I like that I work hard.
What I like the most is I'm really open-minded with people, so that's my favorite. And what I like the least is that I'm very bossy. I can also be really pushy with people.
What I like most is that I don't really stick to things. Like if something, I don't really get mad for a very long time. So if, for instance, like someone calls me a name, I don't really like. By the end of the day, I would forgot what he had said. I don't really like keep grudges for a very long time. And something that I wish I had less maybe was confidence, because I feel like sometimes it can get you. It got me into trouble. Or you'd be like talking back to people, that kind of thing.
A lot of people. Something I don't like is probably that I say yes to everything a lot, And like even if like I don't want it or like I don't want to give someone something, I still say yes because I'm too nice.
I don't like things that I don't like about myself is being too kind to others. So it's like people use me as their benefits, and when I'm being too kind to others, but then they don't give me back. For example, I help my friend. It's just an example. I help my friend to get what he wants, to get things that what he wants. But then when I asked him for help, but then he didn't help me. So yeah.
What is the most surprising thing you find about yourself?
I think from other people's perspective, they don't really assume I'd be into the stuff I'm into. I'm kind of a nerd. I really like psychology. Like I'm super into psychology and like documentaries and all that kind of stuff. Like I love psychology. Also, I'm really into like older movies and older music, and I'm not saying that just to be vintage and trendy, but I genuinely mean that. I listen to a lot of 70s music, and I still watch like Woodstock performances sometimes. I think people are often pretty shocked because I guess people think I'm trendy. So they find it a bit shocking when I tell them like the stuff I'm into. Yeah.
The most surprising thing I found out about myself is that I really enjoy and like to watch books and movies about World War II. I know that's really strange, but I like to go into like deep research about it and like watch like really old films about it and like historic talks about it and just go like deep into what life was like in World War II. So
I actually really like Western movies. Like Western movies with like those guns, those horses, and those like cowboys. I think it's really cool. It definitely surprises me a lot.
What was your first impression of me and has it changed?
My first impression was that I thought you were a really quiet girl.
You were just so confident. A lot of people that come to CISB are like, if they don't get it, then they just stop trying, but you like tried to understand and you tried to like become a part of the community.
My first impression of you, I thought you were super nice, and I thought it was like really cool that I had another European coming into the school, even though I'm not like nationality-wise European, but you know what I mean, like white. Anyways, it was nice to have someone I could like relate to on that level. Yeah, and I thought you were really cool. I still think you're pretty cool.
I don't remember exactly what my first impression was, but I feel like it probably has changed because I got to know you better, especially on Week Without Walls. We sort of talked more and like we were more together than when the group was telling scary stories because I did not want to listen to that. But I actually got to know that you're like a really funny person and you're actually quite like smart and you work really hard as well. So definitely probably has changed.
My first impression of you was that when we had French class, I think it was the next period, and then you're talking to Ellie and Sunny, and you're really talkative, and I was surprised because not many new students that come to our school are that talkative. And I guess now after you've been here for a while, I guess maybe you're a bit more shy.
What is your biggest passion and why?
Honestly, I think my biggest passion is listening to Nicki Minaj. It may sound very shallow, but she embodies a lot of positive things. She empowers not only women, but black people, and she just encourages body positivity, and she's just an all-around great personality.
My biggest passion right now is photography, and I started doing photography because I saw my stepdad taking really cool photos, and I thought, you know what, I want to take a shot. So I started taking photos, and then now I'm really into it because I think that the outcome of what I take is really cool, and you can make your own story through photos and make people feel things.
Performing, I think it's just something I was born to do. It's like when I do it, I'm just like transformed.
Dance is my favorite biggest passion because I've been doing it for such a long time, and like I know it's hard sometimes, but I really enjoy dancing, and it gives me a chance to work really hard on something and be really focused on something, and to express myself using other ways other than words or images.
What is your biggest fear in life?
I'm really scared of like eyeballs. I'm really scared of eyeballs. And everything that has something to do with like blood, gore, gooey stuff, icky stuff. And
My biggest fear in life, I would say, breaking my knee again, because now I have screws in my knee, and if I break it again, and I don't know what will happen, I might not have the perfect leg again.
Being alone. When you're alone, you have only yourself, and like as I've said before, I don't really like a lot of the things that I talk about in my head. So I always want to be surrounded by people that make me feel like I'm the best person that I am.
That's true.
My biggest fear is, I guess my biggest fear is death, because I guess you never know what's gonna happen, and I feel like if I was to die, I feel like maybe I would die by like stabbing or someone shooting me.
Do you have a phobia? And if so, what is it?
Yes. Animals, especially dogs, because I almost got bitten by the dog when I was small. So yeah.
I'm very claustrophobic. I just really don't like small spaces, especially when they're really crowded. I just feel really suffocated when I have claustrophobia.
Yeah, so my two biggest phobias are birds and height. One of them's really normal, one of them's not. I'm really terrified of birds and chickens. I don't know why. It's gotten better over the years, but I kind of try to avoid them at all costs. And then heights, I think it's a pretty normal one. I'm not a heights person at all.
I have kind of two. One is chickens because they are ugly and they're just creepy, and yeah, they're just scary and stuff.
I think I have trypophobia, which is a phobia of like really like a lot of holes in like an object. So like if like on like a flower or something, or like sometimes like on pancakes, you might see like there's many holes in it, and that freaks me out. I guess that's my biggest phobia.
And also fear of missing out, FOMO. Just yeah, I don't like missing out.
Yes, I have two phobias. I'm claustrophobic and trypophobic. So claustrophobia is basically where you're like terrified and you hate being in small spaces with a lot of people. That's horrible. And then trypophobia is where like you can't stand like a bunch of dots together. Like I'm not like the severe trypophobia, but I'm like tone it down a notch, and then like I get kind of scared, but not like intensely scared. So yeah.
All lined up, like perfectly put together. Like it's not scary. It's just like interesting but gross, or like interesting and creepy. So yeah.
What is the hardest thing you have ever encountered?
I feel like I've encountered a variety of different difficult things, but I think recently one of the hardest things I've had to deal with was my grandma passing away. I was really close with her, and I really related to her like in a lot of ways, and so it was really hard to see her. I mean, not see her. Like when I went back home. Yeah, it was difficult, but I think she's still around, but not physically.
My parents fight a lot, and I find it really hard to deal with it because my family has never been like a really warm family, I would say, because we're not really good at communication, and we don't really talk that much, I would say. And when they fight, I feel like it's really hopeless because they're gonna argue no matter what, and no matter like even if it's like the tiniest thing, they would argue a lot, and it affects me because it affects me because I feel like I've never been in a very warm family, and it makes me feel like sometimes it makes me feel like traumatic effect.
Yeah, are you crying? I'm sorry.
I would say my football injury. Back in 7 months ago, I got a serious football injury that I think is like the worst thing that happened in my life. Painful. Then I saw my knee, like I saw the bone came out from my knee. Yeah, I was screaming so hard because I didn't expect that to happen in my life. Since I got this worst injury, I don't think that I would achieve my goal to be a football player. Thank you for Sabina for choosing me as part of the project. Thank you.